This is Nate with another Backcountry beer review. Today I'm on top, or near the top, of South Baldy in the Magdalena Mountains in southern New Mexico near the town of Socorro. This is a really beautiful mountain with amazing views of the surrounding area. I feel like I could see half the state of New Mexico. This mountain is actually number 6 on the New Mexico prominence list, and it really shows. The views are just incredible. The mountain itself may be a little cluttered, and that's because this is actually a working observatory. The beer I'm reviewing today is by Soundgrowler Brewing Company in Tinley Park, Illinois, and it's their Leather Apron Porter. I've reviewed Soundgrowler before, episode 10, their Ionic Notes IPA, and they're a really awesome brewery. I'm a big fan, not just because of the beer, but also because, as I said in that episode, they're a doom metal brewery, which is a genre I'm a big fan of. You know, I grew up in the Chicago area, which is where Tinley Park is, and I just love to grab some beer from an area where I grew up and bring it to where I live now, which is New Mexico. And it's actually kind of funny because when I did the other Soundgrowler beer review, it was a nice, awesome winter scene, and it is here. So for those of you who don't know anything about New Mexico and just imagine that it's just desert and dryness and hotness, there is some truth to that, but as you can see, you know, we have mountains, we have snow, and it can get pretty darn cold sometimes. There's nothing really on the can in terms of description, so let's open it up and give it a taste. So I mentioned that on top of this mountain is an observatory, and one of the things that it observes is lightning strikes. So I'm very thankful it's a clear day because there's a lot of metal up here, and if there were any chance of thunderstorms or lightning, it'd be pretty weird to be up here. I would not like it. Anyway, cheers to the good weather. Time for a sip. The first notes I get are a definite like medium roast coffee note. It's got that roastiness, that coffee flavor. I'm getting a little bit of meatiness too. It's not terribly bitter at the outset, but you get a hint of that as well. I'm also getting a little bit of like some fruitiness. And the fruit, I mean, I don't know what fruit I'd assign it to. Something like plum, or maybe kind of like the funky fruitiness of something like ginger. It's something where it's reminiscent of actually like a high quality coffee that registers those fruity notes where you can't necessarily pinpoint what the fruit is, but there's no other way to describe it than saying it's fruity. The really interesting thing about this beer is I drink the first sip and I get this one flavor profile, and then kind of just out of nowhere comes this like this shooting flavor sensation of, I would say, like almost umami. It's almost like an umami, kind of like a soy sauce, that kind of fermented umami smoky note that you get in soy sauce. It's not salty for sure, but it's kind of the best thing I can compare it to. And I did a lot of research at home because obviously I taste these beers at home first. And when I was getting the soy sauce note, I was like, well, let me make sure that this is a note that people actually get in beers. And it actually is. When you think about it, soy sauce, it's fermented soy, but also grain and other things too. So it's not that out of the realm of possibility that a dark beer would share some of the same character of soy sauce potentially. Now, one interesting thing I did read about that is, you know, they said try the beer at a warmer temperature to see if you still get it. And I actually did that, and I no longer got it. But right now, I mean, it is freezing up here, so this beer is actually pretty cold. So I am getting it. The final third, that's where I'm really getting this bitterness, and it's really, the bitterness is not necessarily intense. Like, I wouldn't say it's a highly bitter beer, but the flavor around, the flavor that carries that bitterness is pretty intense. That's going back to this coffee bean. The first third, I was getting medium roast cup of coffee. This time I'm getting more like I bit into a medium roast coffee bean. It has less of the roasty, warm notes and more of the sharp, bitter notes. This beer, it's really cool because, well, not only does it taste good, but it also, these flavor notes, I don't think I've had a beer that every flavor profile is as potent as all the other ones. Usually it's dominating the first third, dominating the middle third, dominating the finish. This one is like drinking 3 different beers. It's like the shepherd tone of beers. If you know what a shepherd tone is, look it up. It'll make a lot of sense when you look it up. I think that's going to be it for me. So cheers, and have a backcountry beer for me. That's a weird looking plane. It's like orange.